All right, let's see. Okay. See, I don't know if the notification has gone out yet. Just trying to figure that out. I think it has. I can see it on my end. We'll see if anybody else can see it on their end. I'll check my phone. Let's see. Alright. Yay! Haha! Success! It's working! Yay! Anna95, hello! Heather Marie, and Carla Shropshire, and Dawn Shoot, and LGGG, yay! I am glad. It worked for some of you. It worked for some of you. I'll take it. I will take it. We'll count that as a success. Brilliant. Brilliant. Sandy, hello. Sarah with an H, hello. Yay. Yes, we are live. I'm glad that it worked. I'm glad that we made it. Whew, it has been a day. Good God Almighty. What a day. I hope that y'all are hanging in there. I am trying to hang in there. I hope y'all are trying to hang in there. Well, you can be trying or not trying. I hope y'all are hanging in there. I hope you're making it. Let's see. Grounded Fire, the Conscious Revolution, Tarot, hello. Yay. All right, so I'm glad that it worked for people to come in, to get notified, even just a little bit there. And then, yep, Sarah with an H says that you always get notified because you set the bell to all. So yeah, sometimes that'll be iffy for some people, but theoretically it should. Clicking the bell is on this side. I have to go backwards on this thing. This side. Clicking the bell and selecting all so that you get all notifications. It should tell you every time I go live and tell you every time I put a video out. Doesn't always work like that in real life, but it should. Oh, man. Goodness gracious. I have no idea what to dig into today, because it's not like, oh, fancy Friday the 13th, like last time where we were choosing Friday the 13th type of readings or things like that. It is just, I don't even know how to describe this week. I am amazed that it's only a Tuesday, because it feels like we have been in this week for longer. In fact, today alone feels like 3 separate days for me. Like if I think of how this morning began, it feels like, oh, that was 3 days ago. And then if I feel like think about earlier today, I'm like, no, that was yesterday. And then this, I'm like, I guess this feels like it's right now. So I don't know if it feels like that to y'all too or what. Mocha Sims, hello. Orlando, hello. You say it doesn't work for you? Ah, see? It doesn't always work for everybody. It works for Mocha, thank goodness. And Sarah with an H. But not for Orlando. It doesn't work for everyone. I don't know why. YouTube doesn't give us good answers. We don't get good answers. So I'm sorry for the people who it doesn't work for. I'm happy for the people who it does work for. And I don't know what makes up the difference. It should just be clicking the notifications and setting it to all, and it should work. And I don't know. I don't know. Oh, man. Orlando says maybe because he's using a Chromebook, so it could be, because of the devices that we use. It might be that YouTube has an easier time working with some people's devices over other people's devices. That's possible. Let's see. Yeah, other people are saying this week does feel that way to them too. Don Shoot says it does. Yesterday was the longest Monday in a long time. Yeah, and Carla Sharpshire says, oh, that makes for a long week. And yeah, Grounded Fire is like, it's the Mondayest Tuesday ever. I agree with that. The Mondayest Tuesday ever. In fact, several times I've referred to today as Monday, and my husband has off this week from work, and he keeps being like, except that it's Tuesday. And I'm like, shit. I mean, it's a good thing. Like, okay, good. It's Tuesday. It's that much closer to making it to Friday, right? But I'm just like, why can't I get it together? And yeah, Sarah with an H says, the Diddy trial is almost over. And then I see you also said that's a lighter topic than the global topic of Iran, because that's also going on right now. Touche. Sandy's on an Android tablet, and says that everything's moving really fast this week. Yeah, it feels like it, doesn't it? Gwen Harris, hello. I am perking hit or miss, weird, disoriented. That's how I am today. I hope you're perking better than me. Oh, man. Yeah, so we could talk about Diddy trial stuff or look into that. I have 0% understanding of where we are with Diddy trial stuff or what that is. I know I've done several Diddy videos in the past. I've done a minimum of 2, maybe 3, but I haven't done anything since his trial started, and I haven't watched any of his trial, and I'm so out of the loop on all Diddy stuff. But that might make for some good little mini read stuff for me to be extra cold on it. I don't know. And then, yeah, if we're talking heavier than the topic of Iran, and with that, I am likewise kind of out of the loop on all that. I have a peripheral understanding that shit's popping off because every time I check any notifications, I see, the sky is falling kind of stuff from people because of, natural concern for that kind of a thing. And then every once in a while, my husband will say something like, did you see the latest thing about Trump and Iran? And I'm like, no. And he's like, oh, okay, you'll see it later. And he keeps saying that, so I know something's going on, but he keeps saying, oh, okay, you'll see it later. And then I haven't seen it later because I've just been balls deep in work stuff to the point that I'm just have no idea apparently what day it is, and I'm so disoriented. So I guess if I was to do any kind of mini readings on that, I would equally be reading very, very cold. So those are 2 potentials to look into today. If there's any questions around either of those that can be kind of more mini. But yeah, whoo, Lord. B forgot to put her coffee in her coffee today. That's a good sign. If I ever came on here saying, hey y'all, I had coffee today, y'all should be even more worried than me saying I didn't have coffee, because I have such a sensitive body. I guess when you're a psychic sensitive, you are sensitive in every sense of the word. As in, sometimes if I take too many showers in 1 week, I can literally get a rash from too much water on my body. Like, stupid level sensitive like that. And so I don't do caffeine. Rarely ever will I have a smidge of caffeine. Even decaf drinks are too caffeinated for me. And they cause physical and mental problems for me. And yeah, whenever I get prescribed medication, they always put it through a compounding pharmacy and prescribe it in liquid form, where I can use the same syringes that I use for my Chihuahua's medications, and use the same dosage that my Chihuahuas use for their medications. They're 8 pounds. I'm much larger than 8 pounds, and I have to still use their dosing for medications because my body is too sensitive to take medications at normal people dosing. So, yeah. Sensitive is great for certain things, and it really makes life hard for other things. So, this is me without coffee, which is ironically the better way to have me. So weird. Can't make this shit up. Grounded Fire says both are good options. Speaking of the Diddy stuff and the Iran stuff, Sandy said Trump dropped an F-bomb today, as in like Trump said fuck or something like that today, like maybe in an interview or something. Is that what you mean? Or F-bomb as in like that's a certain type of a literal bomb that he dropped literally on some country or something. I don't know what I don't know what type here, but one is like serious but tacky. The other one is serious and oh shit, And Sarah on the H is like, I'm super sensitive too. I think that helps with intuition. I've noticed that it must, for at least from speaking for myself, but then yeah, for everything else, it's like, Mocha says, I have to run back to work. Just wanted to pop in and get a dose of your wonderful Aries energy. Aw, you're too sweet. I hope that you have a good day at work. Big hugs to you, Mocha. Thank you for dropping by. Very kind, very kind. And Sandy says, yes, the word. Okay. That's obviously a big deal in that, people like to have a certain level of decorum and things like that. And, that's more on the tacky side, but at least I was worried, like, wait, is that a certain type of, like, extra special ferocious type of bomb that he put on a country? Because that would be way worse than the language. So, okay, language. Laura Luke, hello. You're super sensitive to loud sounds? Same. In fact, I can be super sensitive to sounds that don't necessarily have to be loud. They just have to be wrong. Like, there's certain sounds that I'm like, this shit's just wrong and I can't. My husband listens to all kinds of quiet weird music. I call it quiet weird because he's quiet and he's weird. I'm loud and I'm weird, so I guess I'm loud weird. But he's quiet and he's weird, and he listens to weird music. And sometimes he'll get on these songs, and these songs will have this repetitive, grating little noise, and it can be a little thing. And I'll be like, you have to turn that little ting-ting off, or that little off. You have to turn the whatever the fuck off. Grounded Fire said, yeah, he swore on camera. Oh, hell. Oh, man. I mean, of all the things he's ever done or ever been accused of doing, I am the least concerned with that, I guess. Unless he was swearing at somebody maliciously in a way that's like, oh, God, this is, really, really bad. But there are other things that I guess I would be more mad at him about than that. Sarah with an H says, my question about Diddy is there a connection to the possible war? Like, was Diddy a distraction? That's a very interesting question. I've never heard anyone posit that question. But I like the kind of thinking outside of the box way that is, of just kind of being like, so some people say certain things pop off as a means to try to distract from bigger things that could be going on. Is there something about all of this Diddy stuff that could possibly be serving as a distraction to something that's even bigger and even worse? That's an interesting question. Not too shabby. I could look into that one. Let's see. What other questions do y'all have, if any? Because that's a strong start for some brainstorming ideas here. I like it. I'm going to be drinking my water, my vitamin water, vitamins. I'm going to quit. I guess it's not even vitamins. I think I put an electrolyte packet in there, which is a little bit different, but whatever. I'm going to call it my vitamin water because it makes me happy. Okay. Gwen Harris says, if you're going to do a mini read, I'd prefer the global hot topic as it potentially affects all of us. Diddy's case just revolts me. Oh. Orlando says, will Trump send troops to Iran? Harvard professor says he will in 2027. And Grounded Fire agrees with Sarah that that's a good question. And Sarah says people focusing on Diddy could mean less people freaking out over things like bombs. You know? Yeah, so how about let's just take those 2 questions right there just to start. Just kind of see what those 2 questions get us. The one being, is there something bigger going on where the Diddy case is kind of a distraction for that? And then the second one being about Trump sending American troops boots on the ground into Iran. So, good questions. Let's bring up the cards over there and move this microphone right here. Let me see. Are these cards looking a little fuzzy? Let me look at my settings. Click on my settings. They are fuzzy. I knew it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and now they're sharper. 1, 2, 3, and now they're a little bit more vibrant. That is what we want. Very good. Very good. GeneXO, hello. Thank you for being here. Gosh, first of all, I don't know. GeneXO is magic. That's all I know. She's just pure magic. Just shows up and just starts doing mod stuff like, I don't even know. I'm just very grateful. I'm very grateful. Thank you. Susie Q926, hello. Laura Luke says I use MIO, is that like Mio, as a H2O flavor enhancer. Sweet tea is good. Oh. I am blurry? Oh, shit. I probably get blurry whenever the camera doesn't know what to focus on with me or the microphone or what's behind me and stuff like that. As long as I got the cards kind of fixed for the most part, then that'll be good. Court's amazing. Hello. Private readings and Reiki healing. I do still do private readings and Reiki healing on my website, which I just see GeneXO put all that in there. So, yep, I have all of that there on my website for anyone who may be interested. Good question. Thank you. And hello today and welcome and glad that you're here. Yay. All right. So let's look into those 2 questions and let's see. I don't know that I've done an opening first, so let me just do that. All right. So big grounding exhale. And so spirit guides, light team surrounding me now, angels, archangels, and my higher self, please assist me in the sacred co-creative process of pulling cards for the highest good of all sentient kind. Please allow us to pull the most accurate cards and to read them in the most accurate ways for the highest good of all. Please protect me and help me to vibrate higher and higher. Again, for the highest good of all here as we look into these 2 mini read questions that these smart and with it people in the chat have asked. They're much more smart and with it than I am. They are much more in tune to everything going on than I am, and I am grateful for their questions. So, spirit guides, please tell us what we are allowed to know in mini read form, if that's possible. And let's see if who else in here. Grounded Fire Tarot agrees about GeneXO being magical. Diotimo Camila, hello! Hola! Thank you for being here. Yay! Awesome. So, first question is just kind of seeing, is the Diddy trial that's going on right now, was it kind of intended to be like a 2 for 1? Put him on trial to hold him to account, but 2, serve as a big distractor for other things? Is it intending to also be a distraction in any way from bigger things brewing or happening such as things related to war or anything like that. So just kind of a quick understanding on that. This one fell out. Yeah, y'all can tell. Okay, well, it fell out. Well, it fell out like that. That's upright enough for me. I'll take it as is. Okay. So, from what they're showing me here, this is a weird yes and no answer, because it looks like that there was not necessarily, from what I'm seeing at least, an intention for the Diddy trial to be serve as a distraction for bigger things, but it does look like there's an element of, well, if it could, then let's jump on that. Kind of like, oh, well, what a synchronicity. Maybe we can use that to our benefit type of thing. So it seems like in some sort of an afterthought way, thinking of the silver linings that could come out of that, thinking of the ways that we could kind of work with people's emotions and everything that's kind of going on right now, that there could be a way to say, well, you know, maybe this wasn't a built-in intention, but if you can jump on it, then why not? This is the weirdest way that this came up in my mind. I almost don't even want to say the example that came up, but I always tell y'all that I say what I see, which includes I say what I see in my mind's eye. But I hate to use this example because it feels weird and almost irrelevant, and probably maybe not everyone would understand it. But I'm just saying what I see. They gave me an example of back in the day. And when I say back in the day, I feel like probably around like 2019, 2020, probably around, COVID time, back when on this channel we did more with like makeup YouTubers and stuff like that, did more of those kind of readings. There was a video, or there was stuff going on where Jeffree Star and various other individuals were in the hot seat and things weren't going too well, and he was needing to make some sort of like statements of accountability to, right some wrongs or clear the air or things like that. And I remember he got grilled because on his video where he was supposed to be taking accountability, he started saying stuff like, and there's really bad things happening in the world right now, like injustices happening and things that we need to focus on with Black Lives Matter and with people, being unfairly brutalized by police and this and that and the other. And it's like he was talking about all of those terrible things, which it's great for people to have, spoken about that, to bring it up, to make sure that people are talking about things that need justice brought to them. But it was almost like he was, bringing that up to kind of be like, look at all these worse problems. Why are you focusing on me and my drama? My drama is such little shit compared to this. This is what you really should be talking about. And it almost seemed like he was trying to use that as a distraction. Obviously, he didn't create those things to happen intentionally so that it would overshadow what he had going on. No, but he took opportunity from that. He took advantage of that and was like, oh, I found an opportunity to be like, talk about that, not this, and that's the thing that came to my mind right now. That's a weird random memory that I haven't thought of in years. So it's bizarre that just came up right now, but that's what came to mind as I'm explaining this, that it looks to me like, no, there was no intention necessarily built in of let's create this trial both to hold Diddy to account and for the intention of, making people look left, not right, or right, not left, or up, not down, vice versa, whatever. But if there's any way we can seize the day and take opportunity with this moment that we have, okay, maybe we'll play that up, or maybe we'll bring attention to it, or maybe we will, or whatever. So I do see that there could be some secondhand intentions like that, but not in the way that we kind of asked the question. So interesting way to give me that answer. I hope that makes sense. Sorry for using, a bit of an off the wall example. But that's what came up here. That's what came up here. So as I shuffle this up, speaking of the bigger things, we're going to take a look at, I believe it was Orlando that asked about if Trump is going to have, our American troops sent over to Iran. Like, are we going to be over there, boots on the ground kind of thing? So I will look into that. While I'm shuffling, let me read what y'all have written here. Let's see. Oh yeah, Sarah with an H says, love the opening ritual, would be a great addition to your regular readings. Yeah, I usually remember to do it before I ever click record on my videos and things like that. But today I was like, oh gosh, it's been a day and I've been just kind of going from one thing to the next, and I have not done that before I went live. So I was like, well, I got to make sure I do it before I do the reading though. So then y'all end up seeing it. And yeah, it's one of those, depends on who's watching. Some people will be like, oh, I'm so glad that you put that there. That helps remind us that we need to do an opening and a closing in readings, and that we need to, take that time and have that space, that it's important too. And so some people would like that. Other people would be like, oh my gosh, she talks forever. Just get with the reading. Damn. And then we'd have those. So, you can't make everybody happy. And so you choose, I guess, which one feels best, and hope that the people that can hang with it. And Laura Lucas saying possibly a quick read on the British royal family dynamics, Harry and his latest antics. Oh God, there's been more antics. Oh no. What now? Seraphine, hello. Yes. So Sarah with an H says, I remember Dramageddon well, so this makes 100% sense. So I'm glad that, since it was your question, maybe the guides were explaining the answer in a way that you would receive it best. Because I was like, this is an off-the-wall thing. I don't know if anybody's going to understand this, but you're like, oh, I get it 100%. So, yeah, it might be that the guides were like, well, technically, your question, so let's answer it in a way that will land most well with you. But you said Diddy's team is saying, look at the war happening. Diddy is small potatoes. Oh, so they're doing that now. Oh, see? Very interesting. LGGG says he was exploiting a good cause. Oh, is it 444? Yeah, GNX says 444. So for people in Central Time, 444 on the clock for people in Central Time. That's awesome. So, Grounded Fire says, makes sense. Joycey, hello. He said, hi, I'm popping in before my doctor appointment. So glad to see you. So glad to see you too. I hope the doctor appointment goes well. I know people don't always feel overjoyed to go to doctor's appointments, but I hope it goes smoothly and well, and that you're able to get out of there just as quickly as you got in there. Allie, hello. You're not late. Well, I'm like, oh, you're not late. We've only been live for 28 minutes, and the first 20 of that is me being like, what am I even doing? What are you doing? Are we here? What's going on? Where are we? It takes me 20 minutes to orient to things, so. But that's so sweet. You said, I hope everyone's been having a good day. We hope you've been having a good day too, Allie. LGGG says, I'm sure. Didn't follow the Jeffree Star thing. That's not my genre in entertainment. Not mine either anymore for, I guess now it's been 4 years. But that's the gist I got. Frustrating when those causes need real awareness and people take advantage. Agreed. Let's see. Sarah with an H says, synchronicity. Yes! All right. Joyce is like, thank you. At least I remembered to go to the doctor this time. CKB, hi. Hello. Thank you for being here. Awesome. So I have shuffled the shit out of these this entire time, ready to ask our second question for our mini read today. Orlando's question with this whole Trump and Iran thing, just seeing if we can ask in mini form the likelihood, the chance of Trump sending actual American troops on the ground to Iran, or, you know, that general area for that general debacle going on right now. So let's just see. Okay. So we've got bad and good news intertwined here. Honestly, with a question like that, to have at least a mix of not so bad in with the not so good, I kind of will take that. So the good news here, I find, are these cards. I would actually say that the reverse death card, even if it's like, oh good, the death card in reverse, and that could be a positive thing that you can view in a positive way, but actually this time, I would kind of say this one is maybe our challenge card in this draw, because with this coming up in reverse, it's good that it looks like we're not going to be stuck, and that it doesn't look like our, as in the U.S., hands will be tied to where it's like, now our hands are tied. There's nothing we can do, but we have to send in the American troops. We have to put them over there. Our hands are tied. There's no way out of it. There's no way around it. This has to happen. This must occur. I don't see us getting to that type of level. Can people decide to send them in anyway, even if it's not a must? Yeah, people can decide to send people in even if it's not an outright this has to be. But I at least don't see us getting to that situation, at least not in the near future, where our hands are tied to the point where it's like, all right, send them all in kind of thing. I don't see us getting to that, which brings us over here to this positive type of thing, in that our Nine of Wands upright is, I usually call it my little Rocky Balboa card. You know, he's got his little bandage on his head, but he's standing. He got back up. You know, he's still standing. And so there's this sense of resiliency coming from this card, where again, it suggests that we will have found other points of resilience, other ways to stay strong enough to not require sending them in, sending them over. So again, those things bode well for not having to have a huge influx of troops from the U.S. headed into Iran. The thing that makes me have some pause is here with the reverse death card. In a way, it's good to see that, because it would mean, you know, not a huge loss of American life over this conflict, which it's always a good sign to see not a huge loss of any life over any conflict, you know, so I will take not seeing a huge loss of American life over this Iranian conflict. However, the part that makes me be like, about this card is that the death card in reverse literally means you're not letting something die. You're not letting it end. You're not letting it be over. And so sometimes that means I want to kick the can around a little bit longer. I want to kick the can around a little bit further. I'm not ready to close this door. I'm not ready to close this chapter. I'm going to dig my heels in and, you know, see if I can kind of hold on a little bit. So there is something here that makes me feel like that door is being left open. So it's kind of like we've opened the door to look in about what's happening over here. We're deciding to not send American troops through that door into Iran, but we're also not closing the door to say, never mind that. Let's walk away from that door. We're like, I'll keep the door open and I'll keep peeking out and I'll keep looking and I'll keep deciding. So this to me feels like it is unlikely for a bunch of U.S. troops to be forced to go over there and forced to deal with that we would be able to keep people home as much as we can. But I don't like that the door is being left open. because that does mean that at some point in the future, there's a potential that things could change enough to shift this threshold and change that opinion. So this, to me, feels like for right now, we're in the clear of that. For a little foreseeable chunk of time, we could be in the clear of that. But if some key player in this mix decides to pop off and do something big, then the layout of this could shift, because this is the seed planted for that. So that makes me uncomfortable. I'm not freaking out about what I'm seeing here. I'm just enough to make me uncomfortable. So, Lord, let's see what y'all are saying, if anybody's written anything on this. Let's see, y'all. A Chatty Fanny, hello. Welcome here. And Sarah with an H says, drone technology has increased and can be controlled from afar. Good to know. Good to know. I think that is definitely worth noting, because, yeah, you never know what people might send in that, yeah, can be controlled without people in it. Seraphine says, I'm curious what will come out of the NATO summit. Is that, that is today/tomorrow in the Netherlands. Oh. Okay, so again, both of the questions that I've read today, I've read completely cold, because work has really been, it's been extra here lately. And so if I read on that, it would also be pretty cold. What's going on with the NATO summit? Or, are there specific things that you're wondering might come out of it? Or are there things that people are saying, like, oh, there's rumors about these things and these things, and what about this? Or like just trying to, in my head, pinpoint a particular mini read question out of that. Because if I were to like open this up to the guides and be like, hey, what all can we know about the NATO summit? I think the floodgates of cards would open, and we would end up with way more than mini reading type of information from that. Maybe some succinct readers could do that quicker than I could, if they have that brevity skill set that I so sadly lack. Orlando says the reason to send troops would be for regime change. So it looks like U.S. won't try regime change with troops in Iran. Well, from what I was looking at, it looks like they are, that the plan right now would be to avoid that. But with that door open in the middle, I didn't like that. To me, that means if any of the players around make some big decision and try to, make some big change, do some big thing, then we might end up revisiting the drawing board with that question, and it could happen. So I would say, for right now, I don't necessarily see that in the cards, this sending troops for regime change, but I am also uncomfortable with that reverse death card, in the fact that if that's what you're talking about, I'm worried that if any of the players make any big sudden moves, that could possibly be on the table. Let's see. LGGD says we can also use this as a reminder to prep for emergencies, to keep gas tanks mostly full, stock up on batteries, water, pet food, old AM, FM radio, etc. Good reminder, Like, we don't always have to have those things around to be like, I'm living in fear like a doomsday prepper. It's like, or I can just casually over time, where I get a little bit to save up here and a little bit to save up there, make sure I get a little extra batteries next time I shop, or a little extra pet food next time I shop, or, have that little radio on hand and some batteries to go in it and things like that. Or, oh, don't want to fill up with gas right now. Okay, let's just do it. Let me just make sure I've got it. I think it's good that we can do that in a way that we don't have to be Chicken Little, freaking out over it. We can just do it for the sake of feeling a little bit more secure, a little bit more like, yeah, if we had a rough couple of days, we'd have these things. If we had a rough couple of weeks, we'd have these things. If other people were really struggling, you're funny. You said, haha, to be honest, I don't know for sure. I know that world leaders are now in the Netherlands. Fair. So, because I obviously don't know for sure either. So, but I think that's a great question. That's a great question. It's just, yeah, I'm a little worried that it would get a little beyond mini reading territory because it's such a good question, because it's such a big question. But wow, they're in the Netherlands then. They're over on your stomping grounds. I wonder how that feels. Does it feel powerful? Does it feel cool to have them over there? Or are you like, I'm uncomfortable. This is scary. Let it go back to normal. Oh, gosh. Sandy says the EU is talking about a war. Oh, geez, Louise. And Sarah with an H says Russia and China don't want war. Well, I imagine not. First of all, Russia's already got something going on. Imagine they don't want any more on their plate. And China, I don't suppose I know a lot about China, but I know that they've always got the threat of the them versus Taiwan thing, that they're, got that already on their plate. And they're too busy having their eyes on their own paper, becoming the next world superpower, so they don't want to have a war to distract from their progress towards that. They're like, no, man, we're already getting up there. Why would we want to distract? Gosh. Let's see. And yeah, Orlando, good point too. Severe weather emergency is also a good reason to prep a little, just to have something. I mean, y'all saw over here when Hurricane Helene hit last year, was it? Lord, all my days and years are going together. I'm telling you what, we were screwed up for weeks, and so it was good to have a little extra this and that. And I'm not saying this to be scary. I'm just saying this to just share my own personal experience, is that I remember saying when that happened with Helene hit here and we got all out of whack, I remember saying like, wow, so that's how quick it can go from regular day to Mad Max around here. That's how quick. Literally, one day things were fine, and I'm not even kidding. The evening of the day that things went wrong, it was already getting weird, where people were already like kind of being weird around gas tanks, hoarding gas. And by the very next day, like the day after the hurricane hit, there were already, law enforcement bulletins out about, if you act like this around a gas station, this is what's going to happen. If curfews for these areas, so that we can make sure that the linemen can be out working and not be getting robbed by people who are trying to, do this, that, or the other. Curfews at night and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, so we're resorting to lawlessness and craziness literally like 24 hours later. That's how fast we can go from zero to Mad Max. Like, holy shit. And so I remember thinking like, yeah, I would like to have a little bit more preparedness than what I already do, if possible. And certainly there's things that I would like that I just can't afford, so it's just not going to happen. But then there's things that I can afford, like I was able to afford, to get a couple of those, nice candles that have several wicks and stuff that are supposed to be very long lasting. And I was able to afford some extra batteries for some flashlights that I have, and things like that. And, that helps when your power's out from a hurricane. So, yeah. Stuff like that makes a difference. Dawn Rose, hello. And you said, can you read if U.S. will go bankrupt? Worry about all money being spent. That is a concern, and actually, I think better than what the mini reading would probably say about that, although I could look into mini reading stuff with that if other people, were wanting that as well. I have done several videos about like economy, finance, future of the United States and things like that have that type of stuff in it. So I don't know which ones you have or haven't seen. You may have seen some, may not have seen all of them, but just in case you didn't know, there are some videos on my channel that talk about the US's future, the economy, finance, and things like that. About, there's also, I want to say, 2 or 3 videos about, like, is the US going to be going into a recession? How about into a Great Depression? What do we see with those kinds of things? So just in case you didn't know, there's those over there that are full videos with some information. So that might also be something you find helpful. Just throwing that out there. Let's see. Yeah, and Grounded Fire says, yeah, East Coast too, and it's record heat here. It had been pretty hot here as well, in South Carolina, and I know Sarah's in North Carolina. So yeah, and I think, again, husband, I hear everything through husband, because my brain is just focused on what I can manage to get done in a given day. But since he, 1, is off this week, and 2, is a UPS driver, he pays a lot of attention to the weather. And if there's going to be rain coming in, or a heat wave, or a freeze wave, or anything like that, he pays attention because he's got to deliver in it, And he was saying, yeah, there's going to be some heat waves coming in for, like, all the states, even the northern states that are not used to this type of heat and stuff. There's going to be some stuff coming through. And so I don't know when or for how long. But yeah, I was like, oh God, I feel bad for people that aren't used to heat. Some of the northern states and stuff. And obviously even those of us here, South Carolina, that are used to heat, not that we like being burnt up. Not that that's fun, obviously. Yeah. Wow. Oh, goodness. And Sarah Knight says, 40 at the North Carolina and Tennessee border is closed again for more flood damage from heavy storms last week. Really? So even after Helene and all that they went through, a 40 over there, that it's closed again. Oh, man. Sandy says heat wave in Midwest too. So, yep, that's what we were talking about. Wow. Oh, don't be sorry you missed anything, Dawn. Just shit. YouTube doesn't tell anybody about, like, apparently the notifications only work part of the time for part of the people. So, God, I'm sorry that you didn't get notified. People were saying, like, I clicked the notifications and I set it to all, and I get notified most of the time, or I set it to all and I still don't get notified all the time. So it's like, I don't know what YouTube is doing. I don't know. Ari, hello. And yes, absolutely, Seraphine, staying safe, cool, and hydrated. That is good. Matter of fact, let's take that cue. This is a cheers to you, Seraphine, reminding us to stay hydrated. All right. Oh, how's my puppies holding up in the heat? Being inside like little rotten turds. They only have to go outside for little quick potties, so they seem to be holding up pretty good. But yeah, thank you. In CT, so Connecticut, far from the norm. 110 degrees to 118 feels like temperatures. Wow, yeah, I feel bad for folks up north that aren't used to this stuff. This is, oof. It's just like whenever this past winter when we had really, really freezing temperatures down here, and all the people from, like, Minnesota and stuff's like, pansies, that's not cold. And it's like, how about just acknowledge the fact that we don't know what that cold is like, and it sucks for us, and that we don't have the infrastructure to have snow plows and all that kind of stuff that y'all get to have up north. We don't have that kind of infrastructure down here, so we are screwed over and have to close businesses and schools and stuff like that. It's hard for us. And so yeah, I'm not going to be laughing at people up north like, now you get to see what it's like to have this kind of heat, pansy. Now you get to see what it's like. No, I'm going to be like, damn, I'm sorry, that sucks. I don't like it when it gets like that either. Man, keep safe, because let's face it, extreme temperatures, cold or hot, can kill people. That's lethal, and we want people to be safe. So I think it's fair to to be like, be safe. Sure, we can have a joke here or there, like, ha, y'all close school? Yeah, we damn close school down here. You know, like, we can joke and stuff and have all good fun, but like people that really, you know, bullet people for not being able to adapt to temperatures is just weird. Like, why? Gwen Harris, hello. You said Elon Musk talked about a recession imminent for the U.S. when he recently popped off about Trump. I will say, spoiler alert, from some of my videos that I've looked at, I can't say I disagree with that from some of the videos that I have done on that in the past. Can't say I disagree about that. Yeah, Grounded Fire says, thermostat says 102. For Connecticut, that is rough. I know that y'all don't deal with that normally. Real Windy Sales 225, hello! Oh, man. Dinosaur Ivan 88. First of all, I remembered it was Dinosaur Ivan, and not to be like Dinosaur Rivian or some kind of like a thing like that. Dinosaur Ivan 88 said, hey, I'm back with the question about, are we alone in the universe? Can you do what type of form of plants and creatures that are out there in the universe? And are they more advanced than us? Interesting. Okay, so potential mini readings about forms out in the universe and things like that, and about potential plants and creatures and stuff. So that's a good question idea. Let's see. Let's see. Chatty Fanny. Let's see. We are not alone, but they are from here. CC Creates. Do people in the north have AC in their homes? Oh, that's a good question, because I know like some Canadians, or maybe even most Canadians, don't have AC because they're like, why? Why would I? You know, and certainly we have that shit down here. We must. Let's see. Wait. Grounded Fire is like, oh, we definitely have AC. Have central air, thankfully. That's good. That's good. And yeah, Sarah with an H. South doesn't have the machinery to plow like snowplows. Yeah, we just don't. And yeah, you said even when you were in Connecticut, you didn't have the kinds of plows to deal with feet of snow in one storm. Yep. Alma, go away. Alma's in here. What's up, Turd Nugget? Go somewhere with your bad self. Go somewhere. TP, hello. Let's see. From the first Earth Age, when Lucifer took reptilian DNA of dinosaurs and mixed it with himself and made humanoids? Oh my gosh. That sounds intense. I don't know if I'm ready to brain for that. What? Oh my gosh. Oh, that sounds like that could easily become a rabbit hole to look into. Tracy says, there's a lady in the waiting room with the same first name as mine. It's not very often that happens. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that never happens for me. I've literally don't know if I've ever met a Beatrice in person. I've met a couple online. I don't know if I've ever met any in person. It just, I don't know. So, so that's cool. Then the planet was hit or destroyed somehow, and that was how Earth was made. Oh my gosh, what the? Let's see. GXO, you're like, hello, love. Please distract and harass your sister. Don't tempt her with a good time. I like nerd questions, Dinosaur Ivan. I like nerd questions. I mean, all of us here have our own little brand of nerddom. We're all a little bit weird in some ways, and that's why we get along. That's why we have fun together. That's why we understand each other, because we know that's allowed here. We know that it's safe to be a little bit different from the norm here. That's what makes it fun. Aw, thank you, Real Windy Cells, for the super chat. You said for the puppies. Love you, mean it. Aw, well, love you, mean it back, and so do the puppies. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Very sweet. Very sweet. Yeah. People saying hi to Alma. And Don Rose said, I heard some say the aliens won't let us use nukes. Let's pray that that's true. I don't remember what reading it was in, but I had done a reading at some point that seemed to show that if there was ever going to be nukes that would be the kind of literally world-ending kind, that there would be some sort of intervention in that. I do remember reading as in reading that in the cards somewhere. I remember getting that from my cards at some point. But for something that's not like world ending, I know there are some that are, designed to be really problematic in very specific areas that they're targeted for. I didn't necessarily get cards that insinuated that there would be intervention for that type. So that's interesting to see that there could be, a bit of a split in terms of how that's seen from aliens or whatever else is out there with a stake in this and helping and all that. So, I don't know. Very interesting, very interesting. Hello, Marie. Hello. And Jorge, hello. I love that name. Is that how you pronounce it? Because if so, I am so into that. You're in Arizona and don't have AC in your home? Okay. Arizona, I know, has some cooler spots. But I know that there are some spots in Arizona that are like truly killer when it comes to heat. So I am hoping that you are in a temperate spot or that you have some kind of means to be okay, because that freaks me out. Lord. Sarah with an H grew up without AC in Connecticut, but you got central air later on. Very interesting. Laura Luke says, so in this extreme weather, please remember to check on your elderly neighbors. They'll appreciate it. Good point. Oh, and a lot of talk about time travel right now. Really? Wow. Interesting. Maria Elena, hola. Yay. Oh, and Teddy Fanny says, your sister Alma has the same name as my great-grandmother from Denmark. Aw. That's sweet. Yeah, the funny part is, when people ever have, like, Alma or Beatrice names, a lot of times they're like, oh, it's a great-great-grandma or something like that. It's never like, oh, yeah, my younger cousin has that name or something, It's usually people who have already passed on because they're, like, such old names and such, like, unpopular names in a lot of the Western world. So, but that's really cool because it's always nice to hear when other people have it. Alma says, hello friends, B, Alex, and I are judging you. When you talk, it's making our living room TV talk to us. Fanny. Let's see. LGGG says, I've heard and hoped for the same thing. It's one of the only things giving me comfort about the whole, like, alien intervention stuff. Sarah H is like, weirdos unite. Yes. Exilia Lundy, hello. So glad that you're here. Love all the emojis. Very pretty, very cute. Fur babies are doing well. They're being rotten today, lazy and rotten today. My husband's home from work this week. He gets a couple of weeks out of the year for vacation. That's how their job does it with UPS. I don't know. Instead of it being like you get a vacation day here or there, like one every once in a while at the beginning of the year, you have to map out like just in advance. This is the week I'll be off, and then that is the week I'll be off, and like kind of name it out in advance, and it's like the whole week or whatever. I don't know. That's just different than how any job that I've ever had it do, but that's how he does it with his job. That's how they have to do it. And so this is his vacation week, one of them. So he's home now. He's back out there, probably watching a soccer game or something on the TV. And I bet all of the puppies are all like hunkered down on him, cuddled up on him, and swarming him on the couch. So they're just having a fun, lazy cuddle with daddy day. Yeah. I'm jealous because I have been two, all over the place today. And it has not been fun. So I'm glad to get to sit down here with y'all and have a little time to just chat, do some mini reads and stuff. We've already looked into 2 things. Been very interesting. Let's see. Dawn says, we need a big timeout, LOL. You said that right. Yes. Horror Host says, that's exactly correct. Yay! Northern Arizona. Okay, over 7,000 feet elevation. Okay, I was wondering, I was like, okay, I know that there's some Arizona that, like, can outright get cold, but then I know there's some of Arizona that's, like, desert heat, scorch, or whatever, and I'm like, okay, hold on. Arizona's one of the weird ones that can have, like, polarizing temperatures depending on where you are, and I'm like, so where are you? Are you okay? Okay, just checking, making sure you're good. Yeah, not humid over there. Yeah, you don't get swamp ass quite the same as you do over here. Oh, Lord. Jenna, hello. Hello. So now you're asking distraction stuff too, Alma. So Sarah with an H had a question about earlier, and we looked into it about, is anything with the Diddy trial and stuff trying to distract from some bigger things going on, such as war stuff? And now you have a good question about distraction too. You said, are the Iranian strikes a distraction from the stuff they're trying to slide through with the big beautiful bill? Interesting question. I wonder what people think about that question. Let's see. Let me keep reading, make sure I'm catching up on everything. Chatty Fanny says it's cool to be old-fashioned. I hated that as a kid, but now I totally agree. And then you said, oh no, you said unpopular. They're great. Yeah, it's weird too, because like with my husband being from Mexico, he was like, oh, Alma and Beatriz are names that are very common in Mexico, but it's like, yeah, not here. So it's interesting. It can differ by country. Yeah. Oh, I literally just, whoops. Sarah had already mentioned that she had the similar question about the Diddy thing. And I'm like, oh, Sarah had a similar question. But I didn't see what you wrote yet. So, yeah. Let's see. And CKBB says, is reincarnation real? Many people believe in past lives. Can our soul keep coming back? That one is one that I've read on before, so I'm just going to do like a cheater answer with this instead of pulling the cards on it. I am going to give the cheater answer that the cards have indicated that there are like, that people can live different lifetimes, multiple lifetimes, however you want to put it. I don't know if necessarily that I've looked like, does reincarnation work exactly like how certain religions say it works? I don't know that I read in that type of specificity, but this idea of, having this lifetime and also having this lifetime as this other person in these other experiences and vice versa, all that kind of stuff, from past readings, that feels pretty well confirmed from what I've looked at. If I have any accuracy at all, and it could be wrong, but yeah. So I think that's a fascinating question. Let's see, Kirsten Alvarado, hello. When will July predictions be out? Astrology says a new moon is coming, and it may be a crazy month. Oh God, another crazy month, and a new moon. What day is today? Oh shit, it is. It's the 24th. Oh, how many days left do I have to do this? How many days left in this month? Let's see. Okay. 1, 2. I'm literally counting it out, y'all, on my phone. I'm literally counting it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so literally 1 week from today. Why didn't I? Okay, whatever. I'm telling you, I'm on the struggle bus. Like, literally, I should be able to look down and see that it's 1 week from today is July 1st. That should really be easy to see. Ooh, 1 week on the calendar. Literally go down 1, and that's July 1st. I'm telling you, my brain it's been struggling. But yeah, so literally a week from today. So yeah, knowing me, what I will probably try to do, even if I shouldn't do this, but what I will probably try to do, I will probably try to put another video in between now and the July predictions, and then have the July predictions go live on the 1st is probably what I'll end up doing. So don't hold me to any of that. Like I said, has been a madhouse with work stuff lately. It's honestly just been too much to juggle. But that would be best case scenario for me, is that I can do another video and then do the July predictions and have both right there on time before July really gets into full swing. That would be best case scenario. So that's what I'm going to aim for. We'll see if that's what actually happens, but that's what I'm going to aim for. Good question there. Oh, man. Oh, I bet it will be wild. Every other month this year has been pretty wild. I bet it will be. Jan Mad, hello. You said your husband's job is similar. They have set shutdown weeks where they use their PTO. Yours is off next week. There you go. See? Oh, man. Yeah, it's strange. It's not how it works with any of the jobs I've had, but that's how his works. So he's in there, presumably watching more soccer with puppies all over him, I bet. Let's see. Okay, where am I at? Trying to find myself in the chat. Oh, that rhymed and I didn't even mean it to. Water break. Okay. Countries that keep their heritage are better. It's really cool to have, a deep heritage and things like that. Good question. Let's see. Yep. Okay. Chetty Fanny says, I think I've reincarnated. I think this is my first time as a female and I don't like it. Well, I'm sorry you don't like it. Maybe you don't have much practice with it, you never know. You very well could be right. I don't know. Goodness. Let's see. Kirsten's like, oh, well, sorry to stress you out. No, I just stay stressed because that's just my natural habitat, to just be stressed. So you didn't stress me out. My brain did that to myself because that's what me and my brain do. And we really should figure out a way around that. It's just in 38 years, I haven't successfully found a way around that yet. So it just stay stressed, and that's not your fault. It's a fantastic question, Kirsten. Horror who says, I just filled out some of my digital calendar for July, and the fact that it is only 1 week away had me wondering if I hopped timelines. Say that again. I am serious. The fact that I counted out my days and the fact that I looked down here, I was like, oh God, it's the 24th today. Like, you can tell I was not ready. You can tell I had no clue July was right around the corner. At all. Ooh, alternate universes. That's a good question too. And then, like, do I get Reiki? Who are we asking about Reiki? Let's see. Oh, to clear me out if I'm stressed. If I'm stressed, I go through a litany of things that I try that are spiritual, psychological, physical, intellectual, communal. Like, I go through a litany of different things. And sometimes some of them will work, sometimes some of them won't, but I go through the list, and then every time I'll try a different one, and you never know which things will work and which things won't work. Sometimes these things worked 5 times in a row, and then they never work again. These things work this time, but not that time, and you just never know. But it's kind of like how moms are like, I'm just so tired to just go down the list when the baby's crying. Diaper, bottle, needing burped. What do you need? Like going down the line, and then they just have to go down the line every time to see what'll work. That's kind of how I am with all my stuff. I go down the line, and there's lots of different things, Reiki being one of them, but man. Let's see. And so people are talking about alternate universes. I love this discussion. This is very interesting. Very cool. Very cool. So as all of that is going down, the discussions of the alternate universes, I feel like I'm going to pick one more little mini reading thing to look into. And then I'm going to try to do the gifting 5 Perk Squad memberships if it lets me do it. So far, YouTube has been letting me do it. My hope is it'll let me do it again. Actually, let me just go ahead and click on the thing over here and see if... Oh, God. No, shush. I had to bring up my own video myself, and it was talking, and I'm like, shut up. Shut up, other Beatrice. Shut up. Okay. Yes, good. It'll let me do it again this month. So, before I do my last little mini reading for today, I'm going to do a third one today. If you have not opted in to win a month free membership, then feel free to be opting in now and while I'm doing this last mini reading, because that's how you make yourself eligible to win the 1 month free Perk Squad membership giveaway. I always click the giveaway thing and YouTube chooses 5 winners. I don't ever really know who's gonna get picked to be a winner, but I'm allowed to let YouTube choose 5 winners. And so to be eligible, you just have to click on the join button or the link in the description box that shows how to join. And when you click on that, there will be the 3 little dots, ... that kind of tells you, hey, click here for more. Click those 3 dots and find the gift settings so that you can click that and toggle the switch on to allow for gifts, gift settings, or allow for gifts, or however it's worded. That way you can opt in to have the chance to be one of the winners. So let me just check what the comments are saying, and I'm going to do a third one. Let's see. Version. Okay, so people talking about alternate universes and alternate versions of themselves. So that's interesting. About 38. Oh, Exilia Lundy says, you're kidding, right? You're not 38. You look to be 23 or 25. You're so kind. I will be 40 in 2 years. You are so kind. I'm pushing 40, man. I am pushing 40. But I will take the kindness. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll take it. I'll take it even if you're wrong. Yeah, see, Em was like, Zelia, she's gonna love that comment. And I'm like, oh. So, they're funny. Could be, okay. Oh, are vampires real? That's another one. I did do a reading on that too. Man, I don't remember. That's a good question, CKBB. I did look into vampires. It was one of our, I believe, it was on one of our streams or videos around one of the Halloweens. One of the years we've been here for Halloween. And so, I don't know if it made it to one of the playlists, like the weird out there playlists and stuff. I don't know if it did, but it might. I feel like I did it, and it was either in the title or the description or in the thumbnail that said vampires or this or that. So I remember doing that one, though. I remember doing that one. Man, these are such good questions, though. Everybody's got some good ideas, and so I'm just trying to like pick one because it's hard. I've already picked 2. But okay, so in keeping with, since the first 2 questions we asked, one of them was Iran adjacent. The other one was literally about Iran. So for the third question, we can either go for another Iran question, like Alma's question about if it's a distraction from the big, beautiful bill, or we can say, wow, I'm enough of Iran. Let's do some kind of a fun little wild question for the end or something like that. And you know, do something wild and fun, or we can just do something that's not necessarily fun, but at least it's different, you know, whatever. I just want to take the pulse because we've got some good questions, lots of good questions, and I just kind of don't know which one to pick because there's so many available options here that we could look into for mini reading. So, let's see. Maria says, I turned 40 in January and feel like 30. Yeah, see? Okay. And wondering if we're going in for ancient artifacts. Interesting. Don Shoot says, wild and fun. But Taco, hello, hello. I've been using the sticky notes. Thank you. Will Justin Baldoni prevail against Blake Lively? Oh, very good question. You know, that one is just a simple little thing, and it's kind of more on the quote-unquote fun side in that it's not so serious or so like, So let's just, or do we think that's going to be too, you know what, it might be too much. I don't know. I hope not. I hope that can be like kind of a simple one. I'm going to think about that. Gwen Harris says a fun distraction, please. So let's just do a little. Let's see. You're like, Chetty Fanny says, wow, my name is Dawn. How many Dawns do we have in here? We might have 3 in here. We might have 3 Dawns in here then. Because we have Dawn Shoot, Dawn Rose, and Dawn a Chetty Fanny. Honestly, I think that's beautiful because Dawn is like an actual beautiful word in general. And like if you're thinking about like a beautiful dawn, like in a sunrise type of way, then that's beautiful. And so I like the fact, honestly, here, before I get into the Blake Lively thing, I will get into that. I will get into that. And y'all remind me if I forget and get distracted. But I just want to put this out there. I really like it when synchronicities like this happen because I think it's a for real thing. Like this morning, I had, well, I guess it wasn't morning, but it felt like morning to me because I was all out of sorts. This afternoon, I had a private reading with someone, and he and I got on on Teams to do our private reading together, and we were both literally wearing the same color t-shirt, like this purpley plummy color t-shirt. We both came on wearing the exact same color t-shirt, and he made mention of it, and I was like, yeah, wow. And I was like, I bet there's a synchronicity to that. We'll look at it in the end. So we spent his entire reading talking about, you know, various different things that have to do with spiritual matters, you know, career and financial matters and things like that. And at the end of it, I typed in, you know, I said, okay, let's look at the spiritual significance of our t-shirts, you know, because we've both come together with that today. And I said, what color would you call this? What do you want to call this? And he's like, I think I'd call this plum. And I was like, okay, well then let's do that. What is the spiritual significance of the color plum? And I looked it up. The very first thing that came up said, and of course I'm paraphrasing now because I've already pulled down the tab of wherever I had that. But it said something to the effect of plum is the color for, abundance and wealth. It is also the color for spirituality, intuition, and creativity. And it has a nice mix between the vigor of red and the mystery of purple. And I was like, was that not everything we were just kind of talking about topically in our session for the last half hour? And he was like, yeah, it is. And I'm like, there we go. There we go. And so it was just a beautiful, like, coming together moment of, like, see, the guides know what they're doing. Our light beings and light teams know what they're doing. We don't even realize when we're putting this stuff on that we're co-manifesting with our teams and others, you know, and that it's just a part of this kind of beautiful thing. And now it lended something for your session. And it was just a really cool moment. And I feel like having all the dawns in the room is the same way. I bet some of y'all will know what the meaning of dawn is, but I'm just going to type it in, just see what Google pops up with on my feed, the very top one. So, what is the spiritual significance of the name Dawn? And I'm just going to see what Google puts up on the top end of my screen, even if I'm sure y'all know whatever. But yeah, the name Dawn symbolizes new beginnings, enlightenment, and hope across various spiritual traditions. So literally, also representing the transition from darkness to light and the opportunity for renewal and spiritual awakening. How perfect is that to the chat, the people here right now, the types of topics we've been looking at, the types of things where people are like, I'm scared. What's going to happen? Are these things about to change? Is this new stuff about to happen? What are we looking at? Is this about to be wild and crazy and pop off? New beginnings, enlightenment, and hope. Darkness to light, the opportunity for renewal and spiritual awakening. I love it. Beautiful synchronicity. Beautiful synchronicity. So I appreciate all the dawns coming in the room today to co-create that synchronistic moment for all of us. Very much appreciate. Very much appreciate. So, let me see what I've missed in the chat, because the chat's been going fast. So either I missed something very, very deep and cool, or else Alma has derailed everyone. And it really could be either. So let me see. Where are we? Where are we? Like, really, where are we? Okay. Lively and Baldoni is light compared to everything else. Exactly. Yep. So we can look into that. Chatty Fanny says, I have to be a fart joke as a name since we are online. And Dawn says, hate when people say crack of dawn. Oh, God. Yeah, and then Alma goes, Bee's milkshake or microphone brings all the dawns to the yard. Yep, I knew she derailed the chat. I knew it. That's what I said the chat was moving pretty fast. As I was talking, I could see the movement, but I couldn't look at it and read it while I was talking. And I was like, so either something profound and beautiful is happening in the chat, or Alma has derailed us. And I knew it. I knew it. Let's see. Yep, and everybody's like, you're not supposed to think of her milkshake. Gosh. Yep, and Alma even said it. Bee's discussing beautiful synchronicity, and we're in these streets hollering milkshakes. Not we. You. Specifically you. You brought this upon the chat. Don't we this. Let's see. Chatty Fanny said, I had a fella call me the dawn of his life. That is like sweet and cringy at the same time. So I guess it depended on how you felt in the situation. Let's see. Where? You said it was overwhelming. Oh, and I see Alma laughed really loud at that too. Of course you would. Okay. Whatever. The fact that we're twins have nothing to do with the fact that we both found it funny. Let's see. Yeah, Gene XO says, I feel like women with the name Dawn subconsciously are always searching for the light. We're better than the occult. Yes. Oh, man. Yep, Emma knows she derailed. She is admitting. She is admitting fault. She is liable. Everybody's like, yes, blame her. Let's see. Sarah with an H is like, both happened. Gene X, so degenerates unite here. Don't speak for all of us. No, you can actually. Probably. Oh my gosh. Okay. Blake Lively. So I'm just going to do a quick mini read, and we're just trying to see if in all this craziness and wildness that's been going on with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, and I think I've done one video on it, and after that video, I've looked at nothing since then. So whatever has happened since I've done that video, have absolutely no idea what has transpired since then. So this is I would consider this, I guess, a lukewarm reading, in that I am aware that there is stuff going on with them, enough that I've done an initial video on it, but that I have no idea what's happened in the last few months about it. So let's just get a little brief sense of the two of them, Blake Lively or Justin Baldoni, which one looks like they are most likely to kind of come out on top with this type of thing. And again, that's not supposed to be a crazy way to say it. I know Alma's gonna derail the chat again. Come out on top. Don't do it. Don't do it. Which one of them is most likely to feel like and look like the victor when this is all said and done? See if we can get any kind of quick information. Oh, wow. Oh, shit. Okay, well, I'm going to, again, try to do this in as many reading ways as I possibly can, because this is a great question, and it was a really nice antidote to some of the heavier stuff that we already talked about today. However, the Tower moment in reverse feels like both parties are going to have a bit of a come to Jesus moment, where both parties are going to have to realize that, honestly, the best way I can put this is that this isn't a winnable, fight. So in terms of who's going to come out on top, neither is really going to come out on top. Like, if we're thinking about, like the Karen Reed case that just happened, how Karen Reed, most people watching this would say, yes, even though she was found guilty of OUI, she came out on top. It feels pretty clear that she did. Here, this feels way more wishy-washy than that. With that Tower card in reverse, that feels like both of them are really going to have to kind of admit when enough is enough. And both of them are going to have to kind of like give concessions and fold and as if they both get a little bit of maybe kind of a taste of what they want, but then they both have to kind of pull back a little bit. Like, neither of them are going to be fully satisfied with where this is going from what this looks like. That neither of them would be fully satisfied with this. The Star card in reverse is kind of like, we're not really going to be opening any big doors for somebody to be like, now here, you've got all of this that came from it. It almost feels like, especially because the Star card does represent the stars, like Hollywood stars, that there's this sense that the stars are kind of going to be like, we all see this for what it actually is. And we're going to get to a part where we're kind of over it. Like, maybe at the beginning we were pulling sides, and maybe near the middle we were kind of like, oh, I really hope that this happens and this happens. And after a while, it's like, ugh, I'm bored of it. That drama isn't resolved yet. Whatever. Like, that people are going to stop caring, and the only people that are going to be caring are the people literally involved in it. And so it seems like it's just going to feel like it loses relevance in crowds where it could have had relevance. It could have had relevance in Hollywood or amongst the stars, but it will lose some of that heat, some of that pressure, some of that, vibe. It will kind of lose some of it. It will drain a little. It will wilt a little. The Wheel of Fortune card coming up right is a positive sign to be like, quote unquote, the right things will kind of happen. So where people are in the right about certain things, it does look like that will be coming out, and those things will happen. So in a way, this does feel like, justice will be served. It just doesn't feel like either side is going to feel like, oh, wow, I'm such a big winner. It looks like there's going to be, some disappointment here. If I had to try to squeeze out an edge towards one or the other, Blake Lively or Justin Baldoni, if I had to try to squeeze that out, I would say technically there's a female on this card and she is coming up in reverse. So technically there may be a little bit of a better look from this, or better outcome for this for Justin Baldoni than Blake Lively. But still, in the grand scheme of things, like, let's pretend it was over today or something, and that whatever happened for it to end happened, and it was over today. In terms of them starting their lives fresh tomorrow, who would be in the stronger standing because of everything they went through with the trial? or trial. Oh God, I don't know if they're in trials yet. But because of everything that they went through in this legal battle, this process, it just kind of feels like it shakes out in the wash again. Like it's just a little womp womp womp. So slight edge here to Justin Baldoni if I had to squeeze that, but really, this is a bit anticlimactic, honestly. From what we're looking here, it looks like it just loses steam and loses sway and loses relevance and cachet, and it just, fizzles out, and kind of both sides realizing I just gotta stop. So that's a very interesting thing that I didn't expect to see here, but that's where that one went. Wow, 3 very interesting mini reads today. Damn. Goodness gracious. Let me pull myself over here and see where we are in the chat. And then I'm going to do the giveaway in just a second here. So let's see. Another hydration break. All right. Okay, let's see. Where am I? Yeah, 3 majors, I know. Good Lord. Yeah, Alma says, this is just dodged a bullet, but nobody is satisfied. Kind of feels like that. Let's see. Y'all are funny. Oh, the chat has derailed and it's hilarious. I'm glad everybody's having fun though. Let's see. The real winner of this case is Taylor Swift's dad, honestly. Wow, I have no idea what's going on with Taylor Swift or her dad, but whoa. Now it makes me curious, but I'm like, I cannot look into it. I have no time. I have to pay attention to work. Oh, man. Let's see. Rin Henniger, hello. I'm glad that you are here as well. Oh, lots of fire signs in the chat, apparently. Baldoni had his lawsuit removed too? Interesting. And Butt Taco says, so it's really tracking for how it is currently playing out. Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, I have no idea how it's currently playing out. I'll have to catch up at some point. I don't know how I will catch up on that. Because, God, when was that video that I recorded? Let me see how long I've been out of the loop on this. Or if that's even something that I can see from here. Literally, I filmed that video. Well, I don't know when I filmed it, but I uploaded it on February 18th. So, literally, from February 18th to now, which is what, 4 months or something? Oh my God, really? March, April, May, June? Yeah. So I have no idea what's happened in the last 4 months when it comes to Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. The last 4 months, I know nothing about that. And so, wow. So you're saying in the last 4 months that is tracking for how it's playing out, that's what it's been looking like in this time? And Sarah with an H says, Lively dragged Taylor into her lawsuit. Oh, God. Lord McMurray, hello. And her daddy said, no. All these fires. Y'all are funny. We're not alone. We are in mass here. All right, let's do the giveaway. So, oh shit, where am I at? Nope, pause this, go over here, where am I at? There it is. So, I've given everybody time to make yourself eligible if you weren't already, because we're going to gift the 5 memberships now. We've been live for 1 hour and 34 minutes, so I need to be getting off soon and doing whatever the hell I'm supposed to be doing today. I have really needed a play break, so I'm very glad that I have had a play break here today with y'all to have a little bit of time to kind of pull away from the work grind and all of that. But I know I need to get back to it. and I'm saying, oh, I need to get back to the work grind. Here it is, almost 7 p.m. here. And I'm like, I need to get back to work, but I actually do. I need to, there's at least a few things that I need to finish out for the day before I can call it quits. So I will get back to that in just a second, but let's do the giveaway here. So I am going to click on the Send 5 Now button, and we will see which 5 people YouTube chooses to be the lucky winners of the giveaway. So let's see, drum roll here, click Send 5 Now, and let's see who is chosen. All right, so congratulations to Mater Muttley 13 and Shadow Nose, Sherry Krause, Lisa, and K Talk. So yay, congratulations to the 5 of y'all for winning this month's, for winning this live stream's giveaway. Every live stream, which we have 2 a month, we're so far been able to do a giveaway. YouTube has let us do that both live streams every month, where we gift 5 memberships to the Perk Squad for an entire month. So Mater Motley 13, Shadow Nose, Sherry Krause, Lisa, and K Talks, for an entire month you have access to the Perk Squad. You have your Penelope by your name, you've got the emojis, you have a potential for video shout outs, you get the weekly forecasts, you get, your own exclusive videos and posts, all of that for an entire month. And we will do another one of these giveaways next live stream. So let me tell y'all when the next live stream is planned for. Okay, from my calendar, it looks like Friday, July 11th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when we're going to go live next. So Friday, July 11th, 2 p.m. Eastern is the next live stream that we have planned. Put it on your calendars. If you don't trust YouTube to notify you or whatever, put it on your calendars as a reminder, because then we will do more mini readings on that live stream, and we will choose more giveaway winners on that live stream. So if you didn't win the giveaway today, it doesn't mean you won't in the future. You have another chance. So, congratulations to today's winners, and everybody else has a chance for next time. Let me check out where I was in the comments, and then get towards wrapping up. So, let me see. Where am I at? Damn. Okay. Joyce says, just made it to Mom and Dad's house. It's so good seeing you. Alma's so happy to see you too. Later, Joycey. Glad that you got to come by. Yay. Okay. Let's see. Elizabeth Ellis, hello. Yay. Lauren McMurray, I'm sorry I didn't see your question about how to make yourself eligible. Next time, there will be time, but in the meantime, between now and then, what you can do, you go to the join button or the join link, and you click the little 3 dots that say more, and you find your way through the gift settings tab, and you toggle the switch on so that you are eligible to win. So any of the future live streams that we have, if you can, at any point make yourself eligible, then whenever you are there on those live streams, YouTube might pick you as the winner. So, yep, that's how you do it. Let's see. So people are saying congratulations to folks in the chat. So, aww. Kirsten Alvarado says, I was having a bad day and this brought me such joy. I'm so glad that this helped lift your day. And you sent a deck of cards. Thank you. That's so sweet. I'm going to have to go check my P.O. box. I haven't been to my P.O. box in a little while, so I haven't checked it. But thank you. That's so very sweet. Oh, and welcome to the Perk Squad. I see it says you've joined the Perk Squad. Welcome to the Perk Squad. Aw. So thank you, Kirsten. That's very sweet of you, and happy to have you in the Perk Squad. Very kind, very kind. Let's see. Okay, I think I've gotten all caught up here. We've been live for an hour and 40 minutes, so I'm going to be ending it soon so that the replay crew won't have so much to have to kind of keep track of. Glad that we got 3 mini readings in today. We also got to fuck around and be degenerates today. Little weirdos today, so that was fun. And very grateful for the new Perk Squad members, and again to Wendy Sells for the super chat earlier. Very, very, very sweet. And excited about whatever videos and things are coming up here. It looks like, yeah, we're getting pretty close to July. I'm gonna have to do that one soon, so gonna try to figure it all out. And yeah, Sarah with an H. Wow, these lives get longer and longer. They're not supposed to. I need to try to get it down to an hour. So maybe next time I can get it down closer to an hour. We'll see. No promises. No promises. Alrighty, y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Big hugs to y'all. Y'all know I love you, mean it. And don't be a stranger. Come back and see me. And I will talk at you later. Bye, love you, mean it. Bye, love you, mean it.